Welcome back. So I have a great video planned. Today we're going to talk about what I would do differently and what I plan to do differently for this holiday season. Compared to what I have done in the past. If you saw my last two videos, this is the last kind of video in this little holiday series, because this will be my first season as more of like a part-time maker, without trying to like hustle through these holidays. Okay. You only get so many when your kids are young. So I can, ramp up and like spend all my time, once they all grow up. But I don't want to miss it because I'm making wholesale orders or, something like that. Not to be presumptuous, but like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to do the events. I want to be with my kids and present with my family. So honestly, I do think that that's going to be the first thing that I do differently. I am much more confident than I was this time last year in my handmade business, and I'm much more realistic with my goals. I don't want to hustle. I'm not going to rehash all the things I don't want to do. We've talked about that plenty of times. I don't plan on doing any events at all. Definitely no vendor markets. I had a great time when I worked at them last year, but like I said, it's just not something that I want to pursue at this time. And this is not to discourage you or tell you that it's wrong if you want to do that. I'm just saying for me in particular, that's not the vibe I'm going for this year. But I would say if you do want to be in that scene, I would definitely be strategic about the ones that you pick, because each event will have a different turnout, a different audience, a different vibe, and you don't want to pick the wrong one for your handmade business, right? Especially if you're trying to dedicate the least amount of time for the maximum amount of profits. You don't want to go into the wrong event and essentially come out with no money because, it wasn't your ideal fit, right? And that is, of course, something that we can talk about too, if you'd like to hear more detail about it. Or if you kind of would like to have more of a discussion strictly around choosing the right event for your business or the right market for your business this holiday season, we can certainly talk about that. Let me know down in the comments below, if you're still watching. Yeah, it just, like I said, is not going to be for me. I think that they are super amazing if that's what you're going for. But for me personally, I will do one special event if invited by the boutique that I always do work with. We typically do have one summer and then like one like holiday season event. So I will do that. And that will be the only thing I do. We actually, I'm sure we'll be talking about it the next time I restock, because we like to plan those in advance. So I do need to start kind of considering ideas for that. We try and do like something a little bit different. Last holiday season, we did a DIY sugar scrub bar, which was amazing. We've done candle gift sets before. So really just trying to kind of find like a good thing that we can do for an event. Welcome. I'm just popping in for a quick moment to say hey and thank you for stopping by the Strategy Studio. My name is Sarah, and I started a handmade business back in 2021 with my daughter. Over time, we really grew to like a non-manageable way of being a physical product-based business. We ran to this wall of like overwhelm, indecision, burnout. I was missing all of my kids' activities. It was not a happy place for me anymore, which is what brought me here to start the Strategy Studio. This is a hub for part-time handmade business owners who have no intention of quitting their day job, just like me. I hope you subscribe, and let's dive back into the content. Something else that I think deserves to be said, and something that I will be changing for this holiday season, is I am not going to focus on retail and wholesale product collections. There are times where it makes sense for them to be the same, but there are also times where it makes sense for your wholesale and retail line to be a little bit different, right? Or to like offer different products or like different packaging or etc. But as a part-time maker, I think it's important to make the decision for yourself if you want to focus on retail or wholesale, especially through this super quick holiday season. Honestly, it's October right now when I'm filming this, as noted by my Hocus Pocus sweatshirt. It's my soccer outfit for the day. We had a 8:30 a.m. soccer game and it was chilly but also sunny. So it's like, what exactly are you supposed to wear in those situations here in Maryland where it's like 50 when you wake up, but by the time you get out the door, it's 95, like one of those classic conundrums. But anyway, yes, I think that it's important as a part-time maker to kind of figure out where you could put your best foot forward or which bucket would be better for you to put your time into. And for me personally, it is going to be retail. I had the thoughts of doing a fair test, like a wholesale test on something totally like brand new, but it's just not going to come to fruition. Like I have to really take a step back and really try to remain hyper focused on my goals. Honestly, my goals for this holiday season are to launch my new website, offer a course, finish the brand concepts workshop. That is done. I just have to film it. So that'll be exciting to come up. I'm updating my ChatGPT masterclass. Like both of those are free. The course would be paid. And then the website is something, just like a hub for me to be able to like offer my services. And then I do want to put out a small retail collection. But like I said, my goals are definitely different. I'm not going to do the fair test right now. I will look to that for 2026 and of course share that journey with you guys. My goals are more so in that direction than my physical product based business. So I'm kind of trying to balance those things. And I think that this will be the best way to do it. Hopefully you don't mind that things are super chatty today. I don't have a script. I just had the opportunity to film and I knew that I wanted this video to like come out. So that's kind of why it's a little bit more scrambled than I typically am. But I think it's important to cover this pretty much. So here I am. Okay. Next thing I am not doing is buying any new materials, unless it's an ingredient. And here's kind of what I mean by that. As you know, I keep referring to you as if you know me. So I hope that you do. And if not, I hope that you stay to get to know me. But over the past year, right, as I've been really paring down my physical products and my offerings and really clarifying what my brand is about, I have been trying to use up and not replace things that no longer align with that mission. So for fall, I did buy new candle vessels. That was the only new thing that I did buy, which were these back here. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at those. It was such a gorgeous collection. I have, let's see, it looks like I have two pumpkin, one cottage candle, and then one chapter book left, and then that one, but I'm keeping that one for myself. So I bought one case, and then some of them ended up being damaged. So I got a second case to like replace, or no, I bought two cases. Some of them ended up being damaged. So Candle Science, those are from Candle Science, sent me a whole new case. But my plan was to only purchase those two cases. And then once I sell out, I'm sold out. I stopped making so many soaps because my messaging was off there. I have been making like lotion and sugar scrubs, and those are always a great seller. But I am really just coming to the point where once I'm out of these things, I probably won't replace them. In my perfect world, if I was to start over from day one, I would have spent so much more time researching and really developing into a candle brand. Candles are my favorite. They're my absolute favorite. They're my best seller. Everyone loves candles. They're such a great opportunity. And everyone's a candle maker these days, but I also feel like there is room for everyone to be a candle maker too, you know? It's just kind of one of those things, but that is something that I am doing this holiday season. I am not overproducing. I am using materials that I already have, or I just won't have an offering. And I am very much so going to stick to that. So I need your help holding me accountable there, because sometimes I just get that wild hair and I'm like, you know what? I should make 40 bottles of lotion right now because I'll just sell them, no problem. But then I'm not doing the market. So like I won't, you know what I'm saying? Like they won't move. They'll just sit. And yeah, that's not where we want to be. I'm trying to lessen my clutter and make actionable and purposeful steps moving forward, not just grow and purchase things in hopes of growing, right? Overproduction and making more does not make you more sales. And then the last two changes I'll be making for this holiday season are purposefully not setting a revenue goal, which may make you click off the video, but subscribe before you do, because while I'm not planning a specific goal for my revenue, I do have other goals that I plan to fit and other ways to measure and kind of like review and reflect on afterward to kind of see if I hit my markers. It's just not a financial goal for me, which I know will resonate with some of you. Right. And I think that if that is something that resonates with you, you are 100% my person. And I'm so glad that you are here because my capacity for things is growing, but it's not like the greatest, right? I have all of these other stressors in my life and all of these other things going on. I don't personally feel like it is a productive use of my maker time, this kind of 5 hour a week time that I've set for myself. I don't think it's a productive use of that time to measure whether or not I made $500 in sales or $1,000 in sales or $20 in sales. That is just not what I am trying to achieve. And that can be your goal for sure. You can have a revenue goal and still work less than 5 hours a week, but I just don't want that. What I plan to do instead is measure my customer experience. And I know that that's not really an analytical answer, but I'm okay with that. My husband and I talk all the time about how like you can either be analytical or creative and like whimsical. And I am absolutely that creative, whimsical person. And he is 100% that analytical person. So I just like, I'm choosing that goal of growing the community and building awareness for my product because I think that it is going to better develop a customer base that values what I have to offer and really appreciates the emphasis that I put into the products. And that is what aligns with my capacity. I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up because I didn't make $500 this week. And then like it's going to ruin everyone else in my house's week too, right? Because I'm going to be bummed about it. So everyone's going to be bummed about it. Like that's not what I'm going for. I don't want that. Instead, I want a community that truly values my brand for my brand and what it brings to their home and their experiences. So, how will I gauge my level of success? I don't know yet on that account. I don't know. I do think that getting the comments that I get from people that buy my products is probably the best measure of that in terms of like deciding if it was successful or not, because it shows that people loved my stuff enough to find me afterward to tell me. My market for my handmade business is people that are local and like in my real life. So them taking the time out of their day to come and find me and tell me that is honestly the level of success that I am looking for me. And that is enough for me. And I love that. And it fits within my capacity. And it truly is more meaningful than having 500 extra dollars, which I understand is also kind of like I don't know if you want to say a privileged things to say, but it is something that I think of often, and I would rather have that the warmth that I feel from the customer than their actual dollar, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like I'm like rambling weirdly. Hopefully, you like know what I mean, and hopefully you are still there. The final one really ties into that, so it'll be pretty brief. But I want to focus on my customer's experience with my product, not my marketing to them about what their experience should be. I don't want to like say to them, oh, this would be the perfect gift for your mother-in-law because she loves candles. And this one is going to be a perfect fragrance for her. She loves for her house to smell expensive, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to have to market to my customer about who they should give that product to. I want them to see that and feel that on their own. And I don't know how I'm going to accomplish that either, but I do feel like there's a way and I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to let you know. So, what exactly am I doing differently this holiday season? I'm taking a lesser stance on product sales and a bigger emphasis on impacting my customers in a positive way without overwhelming myself, without totally ruining the holiday season because I'm nowhere to be found ever at all of these different events and markets. I'm getting hyper focused on what I plan to offer without bringing new stuff into the mix. It's going to be great. And I really hope that you stick around to see how it all turns out. Thank you so much for tuning in today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.